All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with your Anhur guide. We are going to be playing Anhur in the mid lane. It's his best role. Secondarily, his best role would be ADC. We're going to be starting off with Tier 2 Transcendent, 3 health pots, 3 multi-pots, and taking a look at this composition, we're going to absolutely need a beads. We're going to be getting picked up by Fenrir's, bopped by Tears, Quang ulti, all sorts of stuff. So make sure you get that beads online. We're getting our Impale here at level 1. It is also going to be the ability that we max out first. While we're waiting here for the old buffs to spawn, just take a gander on around. Anhur is one of my all-time favorite Smite gods. He's also one of my all-time favorite mid hunters. You can play extremely aggressively on the enemy god. He thrives in a 1v1 situations. As long as you don't miss your Impale, you will be fine. Impale, one of the better 1v1 abilities in the game. A lot of potential. A lot of potential there. So, speaking of Impale, what does it do? Step 1, it does a good bit of damage, and it is a stun and a knockback. You only get the stun effect if you knock back somebody into a physical wall. This can be a wall of the map, it can be a tower, it can be a player-made wall, like Thor stun or Ymir wall. Doesn't matter. Any wall you can go ahead and knock them back into, you will get that stun. Gonna go ahead and get our jump here second. 1, because you should really be getting your getaway skill second, and 2, because it does some damage as well. And her jump, not only is it a getaway skill, it's also a great aggressive ability, because you can use it to set up your Impale. So you can use your jump, get the knock up, they knock right up, push themselves closer to a wall, bada bing, bada boom, you Impale them right into the wall. Now you just had a nice knock up CC, followed into a stun CC. Plenty of time to get some kills. Back over onto Impale. This ability does travel through minions, so you can use it for clearing and poke at the same time. And on top of that, it also travels through gods. Sometimes people forget this, but Impale does actually go through multiple gods. So you can hit people. I could theoretically, if the Nuwa and Quang lined up, I could hit both of them with the Impale, but it only knocks back the first god hit. Only the very first god that you hit by Impale will be knocked back. So if I hit the Nuwa with it first and then it went through and hit Quang, Quang would not be knocked back, but the Nuwa would have been. Anhur has heaps of combinations that you can do. In terms of his kit, he's got so much setup and outplayability. He has his Impale, of course, which is the knockback stun that we talked about. He has the jump, which is a knock up, and he has his pillar. His pillar is a slow. It also provides you with a wonderful little wall. Here we go. Here's Lokamo. Knock him up, Impale him back. Use the pillar to body block him from getting too far away. Luckily for him, he had his invisibility ranked up. I think he might be getting greedy, though. And I thought he just might be. I'm going to try to use this pillar. And that put him in a bad spot. Try to steal this guy's blue buff while I'm over here. Steal the blue buff. Head back over to the mid lane to make sure we don't miss out too much farm. So Anhur's pillar. It is a slow in the radius around the pillar. It is a damage buff to targets around the pillar as well. You get a % damage increase to people that are in that area. And it lasts for 7 seconds. Now you can use this to body block gods. So like if you impale somebody into a wall, the classic follow-up is to go ahead, impale them into the wall, quickly put up the pillar so that they have to walk around the pillar all the way to get out of that. Makes them longer, gives you more auto attacks while they're in that duration. Of course, your auto attacks, your abilities, everything is doing more damage. The really, really high level skill combo is that in the middle of a lane, you throw down the pillar first and then you impale them into it. It's hard to land consistently, I'm gonna be honest. It's about 50% skill, 50% luck. There is definitely an aspect of luck to hitting that combo. Not necessarily maybe to people that don't have boots online yet, but like once people got their boots, you can also use your pillar like that to body block and try to save your teammates. Use it as a slow. It does body block abilities. This Nuwa is getting a little comfy cozy up here, so if she pushes back up again, I'm gonna look for a jump. No. I was gonna look for a jump impale on him. Let's go ahead and back it up. Get our full transcendence online so we can get that stacking. Get tier 1 boots, couple of wards. Use your jump out of the fountain to get back to the middle lane faster. So your pillar has lots of implications. You can use it to body block. If you're about to die and you need to wait for an impale cooldown, you can do a little ring around the rosy with it and try to use it as a kiting material so you're not getting auto attacked. Lots of potential. Anhur's Impale does not go through walls, but his ultimate does go through walls. Your ultimate makes you CC immune. You throw 8 spears, and it has a very low cooldown. Has a very, very low base cooldown. Only 75 seconds, which means feel free to use it pretty much all the time. You're like, I might get a kill here. Use it. I think I'm about to get stunned. I'm going to use it for the CC immunity. Good. Use it. Make sure you're using it all the time. There's absolutely no reason not to. The cooldown is so low, especially if you just get a little bit of CDR online, like a stacked up Transcendence for that 10% CDR. It'll be up way quicker than everybody else's ulti, so don't even worry about it. Now, with Anhur having a really good aggressive movement ability, make sure you're careful. When characters tend to have good aggressive movement abilities, people put themselves out of position a lot. The first thing that comes to mind is Agni. Agni's dash is a great getaway skill, but it's also great at dealing damage. So people kind of jump in willy-nilly and get themselves killed. Be careful with that. If you can, try to use the Pillar Impale combo more often. Or even just literally walking around and impaling and just trying to save your jump for the getaway.
Your right tower is under attack.
Really only use the jump combo if you're confident that you're in a 1v1. I think there might be a Fenrir right here, top right.
What's your
Wasn't that top right? Oh, okay. Be a little bit careful right here. Fenrir, if he comes around, I might be able to take a look at some actives. Oh, there's a tier here now. Tier also has a blink, so I got to be careful with that. In fact, they got a lot of blinks. They've got blink on Outquang as well.
enemy missing rock?
Do it, Fenrir. Jump in. Okay. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Okay. Just gonna go ahead and use my beads on the Outquang. Oh, this is fine. This is fine. All the HP you could possibly need right there. Fun little interaction. Outquang's execute, unlike Thanatos, is beadsable. You can go ahead and beads it post fire animation in between you going up into the air, and you will live from that Outquang ult. As of this point, we have got our boots online. You're gonna get those Ninja Tabi. Anhur does not have any built-in attack speed in his kit, so building attack speed items is very good for him, which is going to function right into something that is actually built into his kit that we haven't talked about yet, which is his passive. Anhur has passive penetration built into his kit, which is super strong. A 20 physical protection debuff. When you hit somebody with an auto attack, you reduce their physical protection by 20. Now, this is not a, this is an actual debuff as well on the target, which means that it works like a void shield, and other people on your team do get the benefit from it because it is a debuff. So that will be applicable to your entire team of physical damage dealing lads.
Attack.
Yep. Waiting for Thor to land. Bait the back right here so Thor can land on him. Oh, why didn't Thor go on that? That's awkward. I was baiting the back for him. I'm going to go ahead and use the Impale. A couple of auto attacks. See if we can't kill him with the ulti before it comes down. This is greedy, but we're going to go for it anyway. We're going to squish the Nuwa right as she comes down. There is a Fenrir coming for me. Unfortunately, I'm going to die for that. That support rotation once again. Going to be a little bit too much, but I would do that play again. Reminder that your jump does do damage on top of the knockup, and you can Goomba stomp people like that. Now, our third item here in the mid lane is going to be Aussie. We need to get some lifesteal online. It's going to give us attack speed, which is going to pair well with Anhur, as well as moving into the Aussie for more flat pen. Anhur can get a lot of flat pen with just like one item because you've got that 20%, that flat 20 on your passive. Now keep in mind, this flat 20, because it's a debuff, this does not apply to your overall 50 penetration cap. It is a debuff, so theoretically, you could have Anhur passive plus 50 flat pen for a total of 70 flat pen. That is how that interaction would work. You're going to rank up your pillar to max second on Anhur. Your leveling order is Impale to max. Your ulti whenever you can get it. Then your pillar, then your jump. The reason why you rank up the pillar is because it increases the slow, but it also increases the percent damage buff. Now that percent damage buff not only works on gods, but it also works on objectives. So if you want to walk over and do the Gold Fury, you can throw down that pillar and get some bonus damage on the Gold Fury. Keep in mind, for objectives that can move, like the Gold Fury, like the Pyromancer, you cannot body block them with your pillar. You used to be able to years and years ago, but that functionality was removed. If they go towards the pillar, they will simply delete it off the map and you will lose all of the benefit that you had just gotten. So make sure you don't put it in the walking path of the objective. Still looking at tier right now, and I gotta turn around and look on Fenrir. I didn't land the Impale combo right there. That's a very low Fenrir. Just trying to get myself zoned out away from the tier, waiting for him to ulti. Go ahead and impale him away. Oh god, there's a Quang, there's a Quang, there's a Quang, Quang, Quang. There's a Quang and a new entity here. There is so many people to fear. Oh my goodness, I'm just sitting underneath this tower. As much as I would like to back, I'm actually gonna stick around and be a little greedy here. Tier is still around behind us. Try to get a little bit more farm. Tier is gonna go for our blue buff with the Quang. I should have plenty of time to back out of this. Boop. Now, I'm going to get Blink as my second active. I'm gonna walk back into the base. This new ulti, just heal up really quick. I almost always get Blink on Anhur as my second active. You can get Aegis. There's nothing wrong with getting Aegis. But Blink on Anhur is extremely strong when utilized properly. Let's see if we can do it right off the bat. Blink, Impale, puts them out of position. They didn't expect you to do that. You go ahead, finish them right up with a little auto attack. Look at the quick learning lesson from that Nuwa. That's why it is so strong on Anhur. You quickly blink in, you put them out of position, and all of a sudden, they're rage quitting. No, it was the Quang that rage quit. It wasn't Nuwa. That would have been really funny, though. I gotta run from a Fenrir. I can't dodge it. I don't got my beads up. Once again, the duo lane over in the mid lane. It seems that their Heim has taken on my Heim quite efficiently, and we've lost the duo lane tower. So we're gonna have a lot of duo lane rotations, which means because our duo lane is kind of getting their butt kicked, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that my left side mid harpies are always warded. Normally I like to do the top left and bottom right. Those are my two favorite ward locations for mid to get vision for ganking. But because the duo lane is so far ahead, I'm gonna do top left and top right, really zone out that duo lane side that they're going to be rotating from to give me some better vision over there.
You're on fire!
You can see that even I haven't really landed the pillar stun combo this game. It is very situational. It's easier to do when you've got somebody like by a wall already, and you can just kind of extend out the wall. So if somebody's like by this tower, throw down the pillar right here, and you've kind of got a large surface to work with. Is a great way to utilize Anhur pillar. Of course, in the mid lane, regardless of who you're playing, you're farming. Get your farm everywhere. Look at that. Cheer rotation from the solo lane. That is unfortunate because I put down all those wards on the other side of the map. 3 mid. Their red buff is coming up. As far as our next item, once you've gotten these 3 items online, the rest of the build is going to be pretty much completely situational. So make sure you are looking at what everybody is building. We're going to try to head over to the right-hand side. See how tanky they're getting? If they're getting very tanky, you're going to go right into an Executioner. Don't even think about it. Big knockup right here. Ooh, unfortunate that he jumped at the same time. That was actually a good example right there. You can see that my Impale knocked back the Quang, but not the Fenrir, but it did do the damage to them both because Impale goes through targets.
Enemy missing.
And that'll end up being a not bad rotation for us. So, back to the build. Look at what they're building. Squishy Tier, Squishy Quang, Squishy Nuwa, Squishy Heim. Only a tanky Fenrir. To me, this indicates that I don't need Executioner. I don't need any percent pen right now. I've got tons of flat pen to work with right now, which is going to be better against squishies than percent pen anyway.
Enemy missing.
Oh, there's a high mid. That's so unfortunate, dude. Are you kidding me that that back didn't go off? That is a bummer. When you're getting dove by the hunter behind your tier 1 tower, that's usually a bad sign for your duo lane. So what I'm going to get here instead of an Executioner is I'm going to go right into a Rage. I'm going to get crit going so I can start building those stacks faster. The earlier that you can get your Rage going, the better. Not having Rage until later in the game, if you are going to get crit, it's kind of a hard situation. If you basically don't have crit built within your first 5 items, I probably wouldn't worry about it. I would just commit to not going crit, and that's fine. So this game, if I was against a tankier team, if they were going more physical defense, you could easily go an Executioner into a Kins and call it a day. But this particular game, I'm going to get a Rage because I'll get my Rage stacking pretty early. Even if I need to go Executioner 5th item, that's fine. Or if I still don't need any penetration by that point, I can just go right into a Deathbringer and call it a day. That is fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Be careful, middle.
Pretty hard to be sneaky against a composition with a Nuwa, a Tier, a Heim. You can't really get away. Luckily, this Tier is full movement speed, so he's actually gonna take a lot of damage from that. Use your ulti for CC immunity against that Fenrir so I can keep my beads up. Throw down a little sentry ward right there. We've got to start being a little bit more careful. Okay. We got the Nuwa down. Quang is coming for your boy. That's unfortunate. Oh, I gotta try to auto attack just to get the healing proc up. Unfortunately, all 5 members of their team are here. And we once again do not have all 5 members of our team. We're gonna get the tier 1 tower, which is nice because we can go ahead and get the Rage going. That tier 1 tower gonna give us 75 cash monies. They used to give 100 cash monies, but they don't anymore. They give 75. They're gonna go grab that Gold Fury. That's okay. Fantastic. Taking a look once again at their builds. Got a lot of beads, double blinks. Finally building into some physical defense is the Tier. Quang still nothing. This is actually a hard decision. I'm not starting to build yet, so I'm not going to commit to either Executioner or Deathbringer right now. I'm going to keep both in mind. Unfortunately as well, I've also got 100 ping right now. That is a bummer. This is a bad Smite server. My ping is normally closer to 60. Servers have been acting up all day today. Anhur doesn't love high ping. It makes it harder to land those impales. It starts to develop a strange delay on it. We should be okay though. Go ahead and use our blink here. Try to get some pressure on the Nuwa, but she has her ulti up and they're all gonna be here. Trying to peel for myself a little bit with the Impale. I'm dead right now. They're just gonna dive me into tower. I tried to use the ulti for CC immunity. I thought he was gonna go right into his ult. He did not. I had to switch off of the ulti in order to get the Aussie lifesteal proc, trying to heal with it. But unfortunately, that then let him break out into his ulti, which I no longer had any CC immunity for.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Team is down a lot right now, like a lot. So we're basically 1v5ing right now. Luckily, if you have to 1v5, you want to be on a hunter. They're going to be the ones that have the most opportunity to do that, especially if you are able to run a crit build. That's basically the biggest opportunity to 1v5, and Smite right now is a hunter with crit. Anhur, not a bad target for that process, because he does have some good self peel as well if you're not getting any peel from your support. For Anhur and team fights, you're basically sitting in the back line like most hunters do. I wouldn't recommend jumping into the fight. If you have blink, you can feel free to blink into the back line, go for a quick kill, and then you can use your jump over a wall to try and get out. But I would not jump into a team fight. I would not do that. In the back line, because you've got built-in pen, Anhur is one of the better gods for burning through tanks. So please feel free to attack the support, attack the solo laner that is charging you in the back line. You're going to have that built-in up to 20% bonus damage buff from your pillar being on the battlefield. And you also have the extra 20 flat pen. So you have a good chance compared to other hunters of quickly burning through whatever may be in your path to these squishier targets. I'm going to get a little greedy right here, but I see most of them overlap. So I'm going to try to grab this tower, quickly clear this wave. I know the tier is on his way to me. Oh, yeah, the Quang is also on his way. This is unfortunate. They need to defend the left lane. I'm going to get chased by two. It's not actually the end of the world.
Your left Phoenix is under attack.
In fact, I'm going to get the back off in time. I'm going to switch myself now into an Executioner. I'm going to get that Executioner 5th to make sure that as this tanky Fenrir keeps coming for me, that I can do some extra damage to him. Make sure I've got the pen for it. Their Heim is quite low, but I'm going to go for the Fenrir in the back. Try to use my Impale on him into the wall. Ulti has pretty long range on Fenrir, so you sometimes want to keep it just to have that bonus range to try to secure a kill as it's going away. That's unfortunate. Whoop! Try to dodge some of these abilities. We're not going to be able to. I had his tier ulti down, though. Even with all the self-peel in the world, it's nearly impossible to self-peel from the full movement speed tier build, which is arguably one of the strongest, if not the strongest build god combo in the game right now. But that is slightly getting nerfed in just a little bit. On June 16th, it'll finally be nerfed a little bit. We didn't lose any Phoenixes right there, which is good. We distracted them a little bit by running up that right-hand side. We came on back. We got a couple of kills with the boys. We're down 10K, which is a lot. More importantly, it's probably the XP that we're down right now. I'm actually even with the Nuwa in both gold and XP. But that just means that the rest of the boys are down about 2K each or so. We've got a sentry for the fire giant. We need a couple hundred gold for executioner, so we're gonna prioritize farming for our executioner over everything to make sure that as the Tyr and Fenrir continue to dive us, now that they've got some tanky items online, we can actually fight back against them. Speak of the devil, dude. Speak of the devils. Well, the devils. Okay, we got enough for our executioner. Go ahead and back it up. Back it up, up. Just go and back it up. We have got our executioner. Now we actually do some damage. That's gonna be a solid 300 damage probably. Oh yeah, 400 at this point. Oh yeah. Feels good, baby. Feels good. All right. Got to deal with all the Oni creeps in every lane. That's gonna be a quick pick off for them. Nothing we can really do about it. It does mean that they've got that bottom right awarded though, otherwise they wouldn't be standing there so confidently.
Stand guard here.
Ally has been slain.
They're gonna go ahead, walk over, get themselves the fire giant. So at this point, I'm not even gonna bother with it. I'm gonna shove down through the mid lane, except for the Tyr is gonna get here way before I'm gonna get here because of the stupid movement speed build. He actually is probably gonna keep coming this way. I don't think he knows where I went though. So I'm actually gonna stick around and head back towards the mid lane. Unfortunately, now everybody knows where I am because of the new wall ultimate. So never mind. I'm gonna head over to solo, see if we can't try to kill this guy. Oh, that's a bummer. He teleported all the way out back to lane. Okay, well, we'll back it up. Now I'm gonna start working towards a Deathbringer.
Now that is more like
I don't know if we will make it to that point in this game, but we'll give it the old college try. Now we're in the Phoenix defense stage of the game. If we can afford wards, we just want to get out the defensive wards. We're not gonna defend that tier 2 tower. We're just gonna chill out around our Phoenixes. We do have a double late game hunters, which is nice. Nothing crazy like a cuckoo or anything for the physical defenses. They do have a spectral armor on the Fenrir. He also built full physical damage, one of the detriments to our team comp, where we have 4 physicals and a Kuzenbo. Certainly not the best composition of all time. Would have helped us a little bit to have a some sort of magic damage outside of our support. We should not be defending this tier 2. You basically never want to defend tier 2s after like the 25-minute marker. There's just not really a point when the enemy has fire giant, because what does happen if you try to defend tier 2s is they go ahead and get a kill every time. They're just too hard to defend, and then you can't defend your Phoenix, and if you can't defend your Phoenix, that is oftentimes the game. Rampage! Try to use the pillar to block the Tyr in a little bit. Try to take some damage from that. All right, let's just go ahead and try to... We have to just get him out of this room ASAP. That Quang is healing up a lot. Try to use the pillar to block. Not gonna be able to do it. The Titan's gonna go down. But we got to see the Anhur in action. We got to see your combination with your pillar stun combos. You get to see the knockup, the use of blink, how to use your ulti for CC immunity. You get to basically see all of those combos, and that is how you're looking to play and build some Anhur. In the duo lane, the biggest thing that would change is you would start off with Hunter's Blessing Devo gloves instead of the Transcendence. That would be the biggest change in your build that you would be doing.